Man, we about to get into this swamp stories, man. The title of this one is Dirk's Evil Crip Assassin, how he set up Lil Pump murder and snitched on Dirk after being arrested. Man, when you make it on Swamp Stories, this guy right here does his homework to the fullest, to the T. Now, BRICC, baby, man, it looks like they out to get you. Social media is gunning for you. You got one of the names that brings the views up, man. But I don't think this is a view right here. I don't think this one for the views. You done did something to this guy over here at Swamp Stories, and it looks like retaliation. We about to get into it with no further ado. Let's check this out, y'all.
The internet seems to take as a joke, somebody who talks that talk but doesn't walk the walk. But as you'll see in this video, this man has a rap sheet longer than Jason Love, and on top of this, he's willing to do the unthinkable, crossing his own flag for the money. And most importantly, you'll get to see who he really is behind the scenes and why he's
crossing his own flag for the money. Now, we're going to do a whole lot of stopping, pausing, and going because that's the way we got to do these reaction videos. Basically, man, what he's saying is a dude like this, you can look at him, he look like old Chuck E. Cheese rat, somebody that would take the cheese and set you up for them pistols to get squeezed. So we're going to play this one, man. They said he took the bread and turned on his own flag. What they mean by that? Let's see.
He's about to spend the rest of his life in prison. So if you ever took BRICC Baby as a joke, this video will certainly change your mind. But before we get into it, let me run the intro.
Yeah, it's the YOG. Some of y'all remember that. Let's get to it.
The story begins on Bedford Avenue, located in the notorious Overhill section of the Rolling 60s. Here is where a boy named Zaire Mitchell was born to a notorious Los Angeles family. Not notorious on an official...
I don't want to hear it no more. I was already told that, so it's true. BRICC Baby was born in the 60s. They got proof. If Swamp Stories catch it and say that's where you come from, that's where you was raised, he did his homework. BRICC Baby is really from the 60s, y'all. In case y'all didn't think it was authentic, Swamp Stories did his homework, did a good job on this one. That's where you from, y'all.
Official or legal level, but notorious in the sense that they were known as a serious hustling family. So given their potentially dangerous lifestyle, they smartly decided to let Zaire stay with his grandma whenever they were handling business. Basically, throughout his younger years, he was between his mom's house on Bedford and his grandma's house on Donview Place. I say that to say that his family always wanted to put him in good positions, and that included sending him to private school as well. So growing up, Zaire attended Price Christian Academy and was known as a straight-A student and standout basketball player.
Oh man, BRICC was a straight-A student that went to private school, man. Oh man, it's always them silver spoon privileged kids that turn out to be the worst. No wonder why he put a 10 on it, man. This dude, oh man, he went to a private school.
Now I do want to point out that this isn't modern day or something, as the school is definitely located in the hood, but the point is that his parents put him in a good position. And early on it was really paying off, as Zaire had a bright future ahead. But then his parents would meet some people that would change his family's trajectory forever. While Zaire was in middle school, his parents would meet and build a relationship with Big Meech and Southwest T, the founders of the notorious BMF. Ooh-wee, this took their hustle.
Wait a minute, hold up. Hold up. Oh, no wonder. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
To a whole new level. Basically, they started with helping BMF expand to the West Coast, but then they were actually invited to live with them in Detroit. This was a financial opportunity of a lifetime, and Zaire's parents would take up on it and flee to Detroit. Obviously, they would leave the kids back home to be raised by Granny, and this is when life would start to derail for Zaire. Once his parents left, he began to veer towards hanging out with his cousins in the hood, who happened to be notorious Rolling 60s members. And unfortunately, as soon as he was introduced to the lifestyle, he knew that he wanted to be a part of the streets. But because he was only 11 to 12...
Oh, look at that innocent kid. Look at him. Well, he got some gangbangers in the background now. Like he was, he was dead in the... Hey, man, BRICC now was staying with Big Meech now, man. That's probably who told on him back then. This who gave him up, man. This who gave up BMF right here, man. This is crazy. Interesting story though. All jokes to the side. May sound like a little player hating going on, but all jokes to the side. This is my first time seeing this Swamp Stories. I was just scrolling, man, and so far, interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna play hate. Seem very interesting, man. This is all making sense now.
12 years old, his cousins refused to put him onto the hood, and as a result, Zaire tried to create his own gangs.
And we started some called Inglewood, California Crips. Me and my best friend, Envelope.
Then, after giving up that idea, he decides to join something else.
From there, I joined a clique called CIP, and it was completely irresistible players. And the police end up documenting this in the gang files as Crips in Progress, CIP. So they changed it from completely irresistible players to Crips in Progress because we was getting into so much shit in the area. So that was really my introduction.
So now as a middle schooler, Zaire is roaming the West LA streets as an unofficial gang member. But then his friend's uncle would find out about this, and things would not be good for them. Well, not in the way you'd think. Instead of being upset that they're in the streets like any responsible adult should, he was just upset that they didn't join his gang.
Uncle Mike, he found out we all was from this clique. And he came over there tripping one day. Like he was bullying, like this is a big buff grown man. He came over there tripping on this one day, like I ain't having it. Like y'all either go turn West Boulevard today or this shit over.
So now Zaire is pressured with the ultimatum of joining the West Boulevard Crips. This was like a dream come true, except because he was told to do it, he now did not want to do it. Like if I'm gonna join somewhere, I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I respect that. He wasn't a follower. He wasn't a pressure case. They didn't peer pressure him to join the gang. I think that's what Big Meat's from. Supposedly Big Meat's is from West Boulevard also. So like I said, it's all making sense. It's all adding up. So he wasn't a follower. That's a good thing. He didn't join because peer pressure, which a lot of dudes have done, join gangs because of peer pressure. So I give him that. I gave him an A for that.
Because I want to, not because somebody else is telling me to do it.
I ain't finna be from West Boulevard because he tried to make me. You know, I was rebellious back then, so I started hanging with the Harlem 30s.
So now after rejecting the West Boulevards, he starts hanging out with the notorious Harlem 30s. He runs with them for a short time, but then his cousins come around and are like, you're either gonna join over there or...
Shout out to my homie Keita Heater, man, from the 30s, man. Solid, man. Cool dude from over here from Harlem. Yeah, man, he was hanging out with them. Okay. Let me get a little further in this before I get to stopping it a lot. Let me see what's going on.
Or join us with the 60s.
Like my mom always had a house nearby Slauson, and all my cousins lived on Slauson, so I end up getting put on 60s like my 14th summer, but I always was affiliated.
So Zaire officially gets put onto the 60s during his 8th grade summer.
I got jumped by all old man. I squad with one, he was like 19, and I squad with like a 30-year-old and a...
Damn.
Yeah, I got knocked out.
So now he's officially a Rolling 60s member right before starting out at his private high school. He's known as Zaire Mitchell at school, and on the block he's known as Wild Bill from the Overhills. But somehow amidst his gangbanging, he's able to maintain an above 3.0 average at school and to become the backup point guard. Now you might hear backup point guard and think that he was trash, but nah. You gotta know where he went to school. They were stacked. We'll get into all of that in a second, but the point is that while he's doing all this positive stuff, he's also living the life as a full-time gangbanger. When he wasn't at his Christian academy, he was knee-deep in very dangerous situations in the set. Specifically, his main expertise was robbing and extorting rappers who come to LA, and that takes us to 2004.
Whoa, BRICC. Oh man, hey, you know what? I'm impressed. And Swamp Stories, how do you be getting all this information, man? You make it sound so good. This could have been a movie. We might got BRICC all wrong after all. He might be one of the real 6-0s on the internet.
June 29th, 2004. It's the weekend of the annual BET Awards in LA, and the Rolling 60s have nothing but extortion on their minds. In particular, on this day, Zaire and his boys have somebody they want to target. Yep, that's right, Jeezy the Snowman, and they desperately want that chain. Why him? Well, simply because he has the shiniest chain they've ever seen.
We've never seen nothing like this. You gotta think, LA, like the real gaudy diamond jewelry, diamond in each link, like This has never been done in LA yet. The rapper's jury is very feasible. Like, if you get you some rapper jury and go to the jeweler, you up a couple $100,000.
Unfortunately for them, they're unable to get a hand on Jeezy at the award show, so now they follow him to the club.
There was so many of us, we pushed the security out the way and rushed the club.
So now Zaire and his boys run in the club and absolutely take it over. In fact, Zaire jumps behind the bar, grabs 2 bottles, and then stands up and clashes them together. Simultaneously, his boys go over to the DJ booth and grab the mic.
Tell the whole club to roll the 60s in here, like, ooh, like it's one of them nights.
After doing this, they wiggle over to the section that Jeezy's in, looking to snatch his chain.
We trying to ease our way to Jeezy. We see the snowman. We trying to go do our thing.
But as Jeezy's crew notice what's about to happen, they whip out their BRICS.
They got like a chopper. This is my first time ever seeing like a mini carbon or something. Like, they got a chopper out, like, and we look back, and I just go to shake Jeezy and ooh, yeah, like, what up, man?
Thankfully, the situation was stopped before it even...
That's what happened. I know a lot of dudes that ain't got their life taken trying to rob somebody, but they in y'all town. Y'all rushed up in the club. Y'all was deep. Y'all pulled security out, pushed security out the way, which means y'all possibly could have got up in there with y'all thing too, but y'all let a chopper stop y'all from going on y'all mission. I get it. I understand. Trust me, but you're not so gangsta at all.
Even started. But I say all that to show that at just 16 years old, this is what Zaire was about. And because of his willingness to do anything for the 60s, he was increasing his rank. This is how he earned the name in the set of Shitty or Shitro and the ability to put on new members. Well, in the late summer of 2004, he would bring his first young member to be put on the set. This would be a young friend of his by the name of Eric Holder. Eric was only 14 years old, but already thirsty and ready to put in work in the set.
This the Buster right here that took out Nipsey. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say Buster. I'm not going to say that. Let me take that back. This the dude that took out Nipsey Hussle. And the reason why I can't say Buster, because the way that he was approached during that situation, Nip supposedly, allegedly called old boy a snitch. And he retaliated from what we hear on the internet. But to this day, we still haven't seen any paperwork claiming that Eric Holder actually did any telling. So it might have been a mistake. But anyway, let me take that back. I can't call that man a buster because he did do what he was supposed to do. In the gang culture, when you call somebody a snitch and you don't have proof, that's normally how it goes. So anyway, yeah, man, let's get back to this, man. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, man. Either way it go, none of that was cool. Let's get back to it.
So of course, Zaire brings him to the set, puts him on, and he earns the nickname of Lil Shitty. Big Shitty and Lil Shitty, a duo that would forever make history in the set. So being a big homie at just 16 years old meant that Zaire had a rider by his side. At first, this meant protecting the trap, which happened to be Zaire's mom's house. This is where you could find a whole lot of money, jewelry, and illicit items inside. So because of Zaire, his mom's house became the hangout spot for the Overhill 60s.
My house was the spot. She had money and shit in the house and a lot of jewelry. So she let all the gangbangers kick it at the house because she had control of us. I had control of my homies, but we was like the security blanket.
Now remember, as he's committing felony robberies and hanging out on the block, he's still enrolled in private school and playing on the basketball team. So now it's the fall of 2004 and Zaire's team has a major season ahead. The team is absolutely stacked as they have a 6'10 D1 center, a 6'7 D1 wing, and the point guard is Devin Williams, who you may know as In the Lab. Well, long story short, they're so good that they have an undefeated season in their league and they make it to the state championship game in Sacramento. Of course,
man, BRICC come from a good, he had it, man. He had it his way, man. His parents was in illegal. They was doing illegal activities, the drug trade, according to this right here. They made sure that they took their money. They didn't want their kid to grow up and be in the street, so they put him in private school. He was on the basketball team, seemed like he was good. His team was good. He was going in the right direction. But when you got family members that's in the streets, we tend to want to be like our family members. So just imagine if his parents would have did all this without the drugs and didn't have him around family members that was gang related. He probably could have went another way. But nevertheless, this is how it went. BRICC, if I was you, man, I'd try to put me a movie together. The dude, Swamp Stories, he doing a good job with illustrating this because it got me glued. And it's, how long is this, an hour? Yeah, that could have been a movie, man. You might got a movie, man. Your life might be a movie.
They win the state championship, beating a Bay Area team like LA always does. So on paper, everything in Zaire's life is looking good. A good GPA, winning a state championship, and also getting noticed on the AAU circuit. In fact, he was playing so well that he skipped his senior year of high school to go play at a basketball prep school in Mississippi. Now you'd think that with this great opportunity, Zaire would go into it with a positive mentality. Now that I'm out of state, I'm gonna leave the gang stuff behind me and simply focus on basketball. But sadly, for whatever reason, he simply cannot let the street life go. So right after his senior year at the prep school, he catches his first case. As he's riding around Mississippi in a car with no registration, the troopers get behind him. And because he has an illegal weapon in the car, he decides to take him on a chase. So he bends a few blocks, giving him enough time to roll down the window and throw out the clip and then throw out the weapon. So then after getting rid of it, he rolls his window up and then pulls over so they can talk.
Yeah, I don't want to take up all the Swamp Stories video, his whole video. He got some good stuff going on. Y'all want to watch the rest of this? Y'all go over there to Swamp Story. Shout out Swamp Story. Man, so far, man, this very interesting. I'm gonna come back and check this out. I don't want to do the whole video reaction. I'm gonna check it out myself. So far, it got me entertained, man. This is a good channel. He always break down this stuff. I don't know where he gets this information from, but he gets the information. He get the tea on you. So yeah, so far, man, look like I already knew. I already heard my cousin from over there told me that BRICC was a day one. He grew up over there. I guess he moved to Atlanta. But y'all check out the rest of the story. I ain't gonna tell it all, man. Compton Rick Rock with Compton Rick Rock TV, and I'm out.